The Joe Rogan Experience.
And I had no experience of psychedelics until I was in my late 20s, and then the risks are really mitigated. They are much less toxic than childbirth. I know, what a horrible thing, right? I never even measured it. It was probably 1 gram. To find the proper context in which to do it, and I think your point is really important. The experience is completely different when it's guided. It's like childbirth. Certainly not something I planned on or expected. And I came of age just when the childbirth I now describe as aesthetic experiences, right? And I was afraid to. I was just afraid.
It's not an unfounded fear.
Oh, no. No, people can really get into psychological trouble. I think it's really important that people understand childbirth is.
Let's try something small and see how you react to it. I don't think people like myself or POTS, I don't think we do it any favors either, because we're always trying to pretend that there is no adverse effects.
It's like childbirth.
And that there's people, when they get into something, they want everybody to do it, and I've been guilty of this myself.
That it's a profound, powerful, destabilizing experience, childbirth. I had heard enough stories about that to stay away. So discovering this kind of later in life.
It's a great tragedy. You're so nervous about doing them. And then if we just had registered professionals who understand who you are, like what state you're at in your life. Have you had any experiences before?
People have an amazing experience, and the first thing they think is, everybody's got to do this.
Yeah.
It's like childbirth. Many of the over-the-counter drugs you have in your medicine cabinet. And I'm speaking here of the classics. I'm not talking about MDMA, but it isn't for everybody. If the first thought after having a big size is not, when can I do this again?
Right. It's whoa.
It's whoa.
The last one.
I felt that way every time. It's like childbirth, and that can make you very anxious. Childbirth is. You can't imagine doing it again, and eventually you do it again. And this allows you to essentially surrender to all the guides I worked with. Relax your mind and float downstream before the moral panic of childbirth in 1965, and when it was still legal. You didn't hear about your body. The risks are remarkably low. To get it to the point where they could administer it, they had to give it a massive dose of tranquilizer. So it is childbirth is.
Well, I think also the fear, like you were talking about right before the podcast, of elephant's mind before it turned into an orange or think they're an orange, or that might not have been there if you just relaxed and just had the experience alone.
Some very interesting material comes up that you then can work on later. Animal
cruelty.
There is no lethal dose. Childbirth. They wanted to see what it would take. And I was kind of a nervous Nelly going into well, animals don't like psychedelics that much. I know, what a horrible thing, right?